Let's go, man. It's game week on the plains. We're here to talk about it on the Sunday edition of the Uptempo podcast.
You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
Yes, sir. Football is back, boys and girls. Y'all already know I'm your host, Dustin Smith, joined as always by my guy, Blake Lane. And we are fired up, man, because all the talk is over. It's game week on the plains, Blake. Talk to him, baby.
Yes, sir. Hey, excited. We got to catch a little glimpse of the UMass Minutemen last night. Vandy coming through with a big dub. Got a little interesting late, Dustin. USC's
like you told the people.
Huh?
You told people they're going to cover. They ain't cover.
They didn't cover, brother. They didn't cover. We'll talk about Vandy another day because they had a little momentum going last year, but I think that momentum is slowed down. All right. But USC's defense is still trash. Hey, look, I couldn't imagine being in a dogfight with San Jose State, first game of the season and everything.
Couldn't imagine it being the second game of the season.
Yeah. Like last night, me and my brother were talking about like the San Jose State stuff, and he was like, how is USC like in a dogfight with San Jose State? And I was like, I know somebody who was in a dogfight with San Jose State. But yeah, USC, man. Look, Lincoln Riley, can you ever put a defense together? Like Alex Grinch is not the move for Lincoln Riley. And if you ever want to be a title contender in this college football era, man, like you got to get a defense. And when is he going to wake up and smell the brewing coffee, Dustin, that he's got the offense to do it? I mean, we saw Caleb Williams. He would have thrown for 300 plus yards if they wouldn't have took him out last night. So like he's got the offense. We see that, but you got to put the defense together. But just to have college football back, man, North Alabama was on TV last night. So, that was big, even though they lost. They played Mercer close, and Mercer, like we know, they're a respectable FCS program. They're usually ranked top 25 in the FCS. So it was just a great day to have pads popping. College football back on the TV. You wake up, you get to watch a little college game day, Unfortunately, Auburn did not play, but we're just 6 days away from that. So it's exciting, man. And like I've said multiple times on the intro of this show, I know what Auburn, Alabama is going to feel like this Saturday. I know it's going to be electric. I know Hugh Freeze walking down that Tiger Walk is going to be insanity. I feel like the Auburn faithful will show up. They will show out and a big-time dub this Saturday to start the Hugh Freeze era in Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, buddy. And me and you got to hang out Friday night at the Baker Theodore game. Checked out Bryce Kane. Our varsity squad members, the Bryce Kane video, the recruiting recap for all 17 of our commitments is uploading right now. So that'll be up in you guys' feeds shortly, man. Had a good time. It was good to just see pads popping, like you said. We saw a bunch of big hits Friday night. Just good to be on that field, in the stadium, seeing football. Come home Saturday, you see a bunch of football, man. It's here. I'm so excited. And we got to see two. What's up, brother?
It cracks me up, man, because we got to see an immaculate reception Friday night. Was that not the wildest play you've ever seen?
All right, man. Everybody knows that you see goofy stuff at high school games. There was a play Friday night. I wish I had recorded it, where old boy for Theodore comes across the middle and just gets stuck, dude. Gets popped. And the ball bounces like 9 yards back towards the line of scrimmage. And another receiver literally the immaculate reception, another receiver for Theodore comes out of nowhere and catches the ball and takes it down the sideline for a tutty. Just absolute insanity, man.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about when like pads were popping. Right. My buddy got stuck. All right. It was crazy that we just see this cat come out of nowhere, catch the ball, and just take off for a touchdown. It was a fun time, brother.
Yeah, yes, sir. Football's back, man. So yesterday, 3 of our opponents into action. Vanderbilt, like we kind of mentioned, definitely wasn't impressive. But next week opponent, UMass, face off against our week 11 or game 11 anyway opponent, New Mexico State. And we talked to our boy Nathan Strauss, play-by-play announcer over there for UMass. If you haven't checked that episode, now's the time to go do that. Learn everything you need to know about those boys. But look, man, he told us that they just didn't have high hopes, basically. Wasn't really looking forward to the season type thing as far as win-loss total goes. I believe he said 4-8 was his ceiling. But he did talk about this being one of the games that they needed, a game that they kind of blew last year, and UMass got it done. And look,
on the road.
Yeah, on the road. And I know that you got a point that you kind of want to you want to make about this, but not saying that UMass is all that good, but I will say I think they're improved. I think last year from that 131st ranked offense or whatever in the world it was, where they averaged I think it was 12.6 points a game, I believe. Yeah, they definitely improved off of that. And the UMass faithful seem pretty happy to have that 41. Boy, I don't think they've seen 41, no matter regardless of who they were playing in a long time. Blake, tackle this QB's name for us.
His name is Tyson Fomachan. All right. Fomachan. He is a Clemson and Georgia Tech transfer. Things didn't work out at those two schools. And like Nathan told us, UMass went and got him. And UMass's coach, man, like you could tell that the script is flipping there. And I know that's a term that we like. I know that's a term that we like to use at Auburn right now, but you can tell that things are starting to flip there. This is a guy, like Nathan told us, he said that the culture just wasn't right at UMass. And this is his second stint at UMass. They brought him back. And so he just said the culture wasn't right. So they said, how do we get this thing back on track? We know a guy. All right. So they go back and get him. They bring him in. And he said last year, look, they only won one game, but you could tell things were starting to progress inside the program. Look, out on the field, it didn't look great. But on the inside, all right, on the inside of that stadium, on the inside of those walls where people don't get to see the behind the scenes, you could tell the program was changing. They go out and they get some players through the transfer portal. You could tell yesterday things had changed. They were competitive at skill positions. The offensive line was competitive.
Like, they're having fun. They look like they're having fun playing football.
Yes, and the defense, all right. You saw guys on defense, man, DBs, you know, hey, so like you could tell there was athleticism and they were competing at a high level yesterday, even though I do think that New Mexico State and UMass are both, you know, a little underwhelming for Auburn. I think Auburn should beat both of them by 50. And if we don't, we just might be cheeks. But, you know, I look for the UMass fans, man. I'm proud for you guys to get that first win. And it looks like you might get 2 or 3 this year, maybe even 4, like Nathan was mentioning. So, I thought it was a great day for UMass, Dustin. But as far as it comes to Auburn, man, like we got to go in there and we gotta give them the business, brother.
Yeah. Like Nathan talked about, a lot of transfers. Because I had made the point to him. I said, well, is there, you know, are they going to be kind of like starstruck in Jordan Hare, or maybe is it just like a big moment for them to play in this kind of stadium? And he said, no, because we got a bunch of P5 guys that didn't get a chance to play at their previous stop that are coming here to play. Was it Sampson, the receiver that was transferred from Arizona? Yeah. He looked nice. And I'm sitting there watching it. And one thing is for them to get this win, they had, like you said, they won one game last year. So they've already matched last year's win total. By week 0, they have matched last year's win total. That's something. But they got to be feeling good. They got to be feeling confident. They look like they were having fun. And yeah, are they going to come into Jordan Hare and win? Lord willing, no. And if so, well, then we're going to have a whole lot of trouble. But and everything that we just talked about all summer was complete crap, and we look like idiots. but you are going to get a team that's coming in there that's feeling a little bit confident. I would say that they're more confident coming into Jordan Hare than they would have been before Saturday, right? Now they're coming there saying, hey, we can do some things. We've just put up 40 points.
Yep.
So, and they should feel good. They should feel good about that. And the quarterback here, 10 to 17, 192 yards, not lighting the world on fire, but the 17 carries for 96 yards and I believe that's for 5.6 a carry. If my math is right. The question has been with Auburn, can we stop the run? Now, do I expect UMass to come in and pound it down our throat? No. But their starting running back, I'll pull his numbers up here in a second, but he averaged over 5 yards a carry as well. So that's the quarterback and their running back, both average over 5 yards a carry. And when I look at style of offense, what you got?
Just his name's Lynch Adams. He had 15 carries for 79 yards, 5.3 average with 2 TDs. His longest run of the day was 21 yards.
Okay, so you look at that offense. They're gonna try to get the quarterback outside and do some things, right? Guys got to stay contained. Guys got to understand their assignments. Don't get selfish. Don't get greedy. Try to make that big play. Stay in contained. Stay where you need to be, and it might not be you that makes the play, but let your guy make the play. Stay disciplined. As far as UMass just coming into Jordan Hare and only putting up a field goal or getting a goose egg, I feel a little less confident in that. Don't mistake what I'm saying. Say I'm a little less confident in the game, but I'm just saying last week it was we're going to route these boys 63 to 3 or whatever. I don't necessarily feel that way anymore. I feel like they have made big improvements from last year. Now, how much is that? We won't know for UMass until the season goes because Saturday's not going to be a fair measuring stick for them either. We'll see kind of where they land. But I do feel like that's a team that's improved. Like you said, Don Brown, the head coach, coming in, giving them an identity. You kind of see them starting to play under his identity, like Nathan talked about, that they know that they're going to not have the athletes in New England. Obviously, the recruiting is not there. They're going to have to maximize the portal and go get dogs and go get guys that match Don Brown's identity. And I think they've done that. So, yeah, it was interesting to see the improvement there, to get a little bit of eyeballs on next week's opponent.
They're going to make the game in Jordan Hare sloppy. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to come in and run the football. And look, they run for 197 yards yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. They ran the ball 37 times for 197 yards, a 5.3 average, and 4 touchdowns. Their longest rush was 26 yards on the day. They're going to try to run the football, people. They only threw it 17 times yesterday. They're going to try to run it. They're going to try to make this with the running clock this year. All right. They're going to try to come into Jordan Hare and slow this game down and make it slimy and grimy and just physical. All right. And they're going to see if Auburn can stop the run. That's what you're going to get. UMass has heard what everybody else has heard.
Right.
That Auburn's can they stop the run? So UMass is going to test them. Now, I think if we don't beat UMass 52-10, then we have an issue.
We need to test that secondary. I'm watching that secondary and I'm saying, okay, I want to see people lead. I understand that we can probably line up and pound this team into submission. And if that's what you want to do, that way you're up by 35 at halftime. I don't, first game, Hugh Freeze era, I don't have a problem with that. But I would like to see, I'm watching New Mexico State torch some of their guys. I want to see our guys do that. I want to see Hugh air it out. You know what? I want to see Peyton Thorne have 20 attempts by halftime. Even if it's to the detriment of the score a little bit. If we could be up 35-0 by pounding it, but instead we decided to be up 21-3 or whatever, I'm more okay with that. I want to see this passing game start to go, right? I want to see us, because I think, so I'm going to steal one of your terms. Secondary look like cheeks. Okay? So I want to see Jay Fair get over the top of those guys, VAR get over the top of those guys, Cam Brown get over the top of those guys, because I definitely think that's something that we could exploit. Yes, we will be able to pound the ball at the line of scrimmage. I understand all that. I want to see Peyton Thorne light that thing up, bro. I really do. And as far as the kind of style of offense they ran and the mobility of their quarterback, it could give us problems, yes, but Robbie's been getting significant reps with the ones all off season, and obviously that's his kind of style. So that shouldn't be something that throws us off too much. And then as far as New Mexico State, I know we play them, but what will those teams look like by that point? You know what I mean? I don't really have a whole lot to say there. And obviously, we should blow that team out the freaking wazoo. There's not much to
They found some success last night though when the quarterback, I think his name number 7.
The kid that came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I can't
Yeah.
remember him, but he was a Texas A&M. He was a Texas A&M transfer. He come in and they found some success, bro. Like second play, he was in the game. They handed the ball off and took it 80 yards. So I don't know if he got hurt or what happened, but they put the Pavea kid back in, and it just never was the same. Like, I mean, dude just doesn't have it. And
I did think their unis were sick.
Yeah, they were nice. They were nice. But that was about it because I'm sorry, man. Like I like to view myself as a college football truther, and I'm not gonna get on here and blow smoke. But if we don't beat the absolute dog water out of both of these teams, I'm raising like antennas will be raised up, and I will say, hey, what is going on? All right. Like I will be nervous going out to Cal if we don't beat UMass 52-10.
Yeah, I'm with you. Blake, kind of lost in all of the pageantry of, I wouldn't call it opening weekend, but finally having some football on, was 3-star D lineman Dimitri Nichols out of Opelika, Florida, committed to us. 6'3", 295. Became our 17th commitment on the class, and we're going to sit here in a second and kind of look at this class now that the off season's pretty much come to an end and where we stand. But my thoughts, just real quick on Dimitri, is if you followed kind of the way this recruitment went, it was pretty simple. His name started kind of coming up a couple of months ago, and I felt like they were going to take him then, and then we had Big Cat, and they had some conversations with old Cam Franklin, and they found out, okay, we're in the race for this big dog right here. And they kind of held off. Ultimately, for now, Ole Miss has Cam Franklin in the boat. So we go over and we get Dimitri here. And it's not, I don't want to say like, I don't want to make it seem like you're settling. But Cam Franklin obviously is the big 5-star and he's very versatile. But Dimitri here, my understanding of Dimitri's game is that he is a true nose. He is a true nose, and that's something that we don't have a lot of on this roster. We need guys that can specifically stop the run. We talk about how we lack the depth there. Me and you kind of feel like we still are lacking some depth on the D line in this class. So to get our third commitment on the class from the class here on the defensive line, excuse me. And I love getting kids out of South Florida. I absolutely love it. If you're going to take a flyer on a kid, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's taking a flyer, but when you're going to go get a 3-star, you know what? It's just because we've had these big wins for the first time. These DeMarcus Riddicks, these Perry Thompsons, and all that kind of stuff. This kid could easily develop into a great player. So I don't want to, I don't want to seem like I'm doing that at all.
Yeah, you felt like he didn't get the love that he deserved, right? Because he wasn't the 4 or 5-star pop that we've gotten. So the heat got kind of.
Does a defensive lineman, Blake, does a D tackle that's his sole game is basically stopping the run? Does he even get 4 or 5 stars? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for a D tackle to be highly sought after, he's a Derek Brown kind of guy, a guy that can generate pass rush from the interior. So maybe Dimitri never makes the big name, doesn't have the big stats that kind of pop. But if he does his job and just eats up front and lets these guys in this linebacker class, these DeMarcus Riddicks, these DJ Barbers, those kind of guys come in and clean it up, that's all you need. And we lack depth specifically at the one technique defensive tackle spot. That is a specific area of need for this team. I think they went after Cam Franklin because Cam Franklin can do that and more. When you're going after 5 stars, this is part of it, man. You don't always win those. You have a guy here in Dimitri where, all right, man, I know what this guy can do. I know what he can bring. And this is a guy that was waiting on the Auburn offer. He's wanted to be at Auburn for a long time. So got to love that, bro.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I love the pickup. I think it adds depth to this class. And look, we're in a much better position this go around than we were a year ago. We were struggling, Dustin, and it's refreshing to see just how far it's come, man. And look, I'll take any get right now, and just to boost what we have going on, boost the momentum. And I get missing on a 5-star and him choosing to stay at home at Ole Miss. That's all. That's cool with me. That's cool with me. If you wanna stay with ugly and broke, that's fine. But I'm not gonna hate on it. You win some, you lose some, you live to fight another day. So I think Auburn's still in a great spot. I think recruiting is in a great spot. We're going to be okay, and everything is going to be just fine. Auburn will be back to competing for SEC championships, a playoff spot here soon, and ultimately a national championship down the road here.
Yeah. So welcome to the family, Dimitri. We're happy to have you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let's talk about this, man. Last year, me and you, I wouldn't say we were the only people, and a lot of people won't know because we had probably 15 to 50 downloads an episode last football season. Both of us recording on our phone and whatnot. But I promise, I know our guy Tanner was listening. Tanner will tell y'all. Yeah. We were sounding the alarm long time about the Harsin recruiting, and obviously it eventually kind of came to the point where everybody kind of noticed. And I'm not saying we were the only ones, but we had about 4 or 5 guys committed last year rolling into opening week. And we were like 50th or 60 something overall. And everybody kept trying to say, it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. You just got to put it on the field. You just got to put it on the field. Well, one, that was a load of horse crap because good recruiters can recruit.
Yep.
Like, yes, putting it on the field can elevate you higher for sure. Putting it on the field takes you from a 15th or 12th class to a top 5 class. Sure. But if you're down at 58th, the week of opening kickoff in recruiting and you're Auburn's head coach, you don't know what you got going on, man. And the job that this staff has done is we currently sit 16th in the nation according to Rivals with 17 commitments overall. Me and you just talked about it on our recruiting pod for our varsity squad members. A lot of people showed out this week. Me and you saw in person the Bryce Kane show Friday night. I just think that as we sit here, 6 days away now, with 17 guys committed, with basically a top 15 class. And remember the when he came in, he had like a month to work, and he flips a Connor Lew, and he flips a Falk, and he flips a K and Lee. So, man, imagine putting this. Me and you predicted 8-4, Blake. Me and you predicted 8-4. Let's do this. We're sitting here 16th. We go 8-4, like me and you predict. Is this class sitting inside the top 10 at that point?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And some of those guys that committed to other schools, I think could come back around. I do. And look, when me and Dustin talk about like we were calling Harsin out, is like one thing I want to make clear is like we give him every chance to make it right. Right. Like we weren't going to bash our guy while he was, the head coach of Auburn. Like I wanted him to get right, but Auburn should never be 58th in college football recruiting. Okay. Never in the history of recruiting. They should never be outside the top 15. If you really want to start talking. Okay. Right. It should never happen. When I tell you guys that Auburn is a top 10 national program in college football history, it's the truth. Like, that is the truth. So you should never look at Auburn and say, man, 58th in recruiting, 4 commits to start the season. What's going on? Like you should never look at Auburn like that. And that it just wasn't it. It wasn't a fit. And I've brought this up before, Dustin, when I talked to Junior Rosegreen. All right. He said Auburn stopped recruiting areas that they used to bring big-time players out of. And those players were no longer filtering into Auburn. And he said Auburn has to get back to that. So you look at a guy like a Nicholas, all right, and he's from South Florida. That was one of Junior's biggest things, man, is he was like, Auburn stopped recruiting South Florida, Blake. And he said, and that hurt to see. He said, because I'm from South Florida. He said, that's my stomping grounds. He said, and that pipeline is no longer here because these kids nowadays, they don't look at Auburn and say, boy, we can go there. He said, I have to tell them about Auburn because now how do they view Auburn? 58th in recruiting. They're looking at, man, why would I go to Auburn? They're 58th.
Basketball school.
Yeah, they're a basketball school. They went to a Final Four in 2019, and you know they keep going to the round of 32 every year. They got Jabari Smith as an NBA future star, and Walker Kessler, and you know, so they don't know what Auburn has been. They were kids when Auburn played in that national championship game. You know, I mean, just look at. I just watched Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. commit to Alabama the other day. I mean that right there tells me I'm getting old. You know, like, it's that's how they view Auburn, man. So, I know Hugh Freeze is going to get things right, man, and I'm excited about that. And look, when Harsin was hired, it didn't fit what we wanted to do. And I remember the night he got hired, I made a tweet and said, "Welcome to the Vanderbilt territory," just because of conversations that I had with a guy like Junior, man, and he just like he told me like it's just not there in a Florida or a Georgia, you know, and you kind of saw the recruiting wanting to go out to like, you know, like we were getting guys from just all over the place, man. That just really wasn't what Auburn was about, you know, Dustin. So,
yeah, no, we spent a ton of time trying to get a kid out of Portland and didn't even get him.
Exactly,
a receiver.
Exactly.
Like there's not plenty of those in Georgia, Bama, Florida, Mississippi.
Exactly what I'm talking about, man. Darius Clemens, right? And all the hype was, oh, Darius Clemens is coming to Auburn. We feel so good about him. And then bang, Michigan, you know. And so I don't know, man. I feel so much more refreshed, better, and just excited about recruiting. Because I told you, if you remember this, I said, Dustin, I've kind of fell off the recruiting game, man, because it's just been so poor at Auburn. Like I don't get excited anymore. But now you're starting to reel those cats back in, brother, and there's nothing but excitement there.
Yeah. Who's the guy you're most excited for?
It's hard not to say. Look, from what we just watched Friday night,
I'm about to say, bro.
A guy with that much improvement from what we just look. I know it's sexy and everything, and it's a skilled position, but there is two guys in my area and a position that Hugh just produces and pumps out, and that's the receiver position, man. We got to see Bryce Kane live and in action. And if you're not a member on this show, what we just produced here a couple minutes ago and we're about to drop about Bryce Kane, there's some clips that Dustin got on his phone, and the kid has improved so much, man. And I'm excited about him, even though some people want to rank him a 3-star, just like we talked about with Nicholas, right? Bryce Kane is not a 3-star. No. Bryce Kane is he's a heater, bro. Like he can take the top off. We saw that. He's going and getting it in traffic. Like, love that. Perry Thompson took a dude to the woodshed the other night. Perry Thompson had a pick 6. There's so many guys in this class, man. And even in the 25, like you go to the 25, we just got Little Falk, bro. Yep. Like we just got Little Falk. So there's so many dudes, man, and it's different now. It's different. That's all I can say about it. But Bryce Kane in the improvement. If you're not a member, please become one. You will get us a live action. I mean, we got to see him straight up, and the dude is a burner, man.
Yeah, for sure. No, super excited about Bryce. Like Blake said, you want to be a member so you can see that video. Kinsley Faustin down there in South Florida. That's an interesting one. When you're sitting there talking about South Florida, I'm thinking of a kid right there in the Miami area, or right there along with Dimitri, going and getting a safety like that, an athletic guy that can make plays from South Florida. But my guy that showed out Friday was Jaden Lewis, bro. 95-yard interception return, 82-yard punt return, 85-yard kick return, 30-yard reception for touchdown, 2 2-point conversions he caught, and he recovered a fumble on defense. Like, bro, if there was we need to come up with a Big Cat award or something. Like big cat of the weekend, bro. Definitely my dude, Jaden. Just overall, man, for this class, it's like from 5 commitments or 4, whatever the hell it was, to 17. And it was the way you were losing guys. Like to have a guy like Connor Liu to come out in June and say, I want to be a pilot. I want to go to a school with a good piloting program, and I really love Auburn. And then he commits to Miami. And then you kind of find out why that happened, and you're just like losing your shit because it's like, bro, this is a guy that is the best center in the class, and that's not even really a question. And what are we doing here? And then Hugh comes in and says, no. You want to come to Auburn? Okay, I've got you here. Oh, all I got to do is.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. If you're listening on audio, that's all it takes. You just pick up this here little phone that everybody's got in their hands 24 hours a day anyway, and call the kid. That's all you got to do. You just got to talk to him.
Did you hear Gunnar Britton talking about Connor Liu and how mature he is at 17 years old and the knowledge of the game that he has? Go check that fireside chat out on the War Report. If you haven't watched it, if you haven't watched any of them, please go do it. Yeah. It is phenomenal content. And Gunnar Britton had high praise for a guy like Connor Liu, man, and just bringing a guy like that back to the Auburn program.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about the staff, Dustin.
That's why I listen, if you're not a sicko like me and you don't, just this dork that will travel, will put pipe in the dirt for 9 hours and then rinse off at the shop and drive an hour and a half up to Mobile to watch a 4-star kid that might not even play at Auburn technically. He ain't signed on the line. I made a couple trips up to watch a basketball player at Baker that ain't going to play at Auburn. So if you're not, like messed up in the head like me, I get that. But follow this recruiting a little bit, man. Follow this recruiting a little bit because in 2 years, when Bryce Kane is scoring touchdowns for Auburn, yeah, well, you can say, well, Blake and Dustin kind of told me and showed me some clips on some stuff and I said, whoa, I kind of knew. So you don't have to be a complete dork like me, man, but
it's dedication. It's dedication. It's not being a dork, brother. It's dedication to the craft. And guess what? We got Perry Thompson and Bryce Kane kicking off here in a couple weeks, brother. That's going to be that's going to be awesome to be in attendance for. And I know those guys are really good friends. And what about Walker White, Dustin? I mean,
put on a clinic, man. Put on a clinic. And when you talk about they won 63-0, so it's like, what was the competition? But when I see the throw. He had a throw to the corner of the end zone. One of the 24/7 guys in Caldwell or Clemente posted. I don't remember which one. Maybe they both did. I know they're both there. And that throw's sick. That throw was just on the needle. And it's one of the things where it's like, I don't care about competition, man. I do, but I'm on this. I'm looking at the throw, and I see what Hugh's doing. He says, okay, I can work with that. I can get the feet right. I can get whatever I need to get right. I can work with that. Yeah, dude. Walker White put on an absolute show, and I would imagine he's probably going to light Arkansas on fire this year.
No doubt.
Blake, opening weekend, bro. Here we go. How can the people look fly, get some good gear as they go into Jordan Hare Saturday? It's a whiteout.
It's a whiteout. Homefieldapparel.com. 15% off your first purchase. Use the code UPTEMPO right there on the screen for all of you on audio. Use the code UPTEMPO for 15% off your first purchase. Look, they got some great Auburn stuff. They're dropping new things every week. I'm sure they're about to drop even more Auburn stuff. I think yesterday they dropped some new Ole Miss stuff. So they're starting to get back in that trend of dropping SEC gear. But there's some really nice shirts on there, man. They've got conference championship shirts. They got the throwback Bo Jackson baby blues in there, man. Like you really want to go check that site out and get you an Auburn shirt for this UMass game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've been talking about our members, guys. So JV squad, varsity squad. I want to shout out to the people that have joined. Chris Causey, correct? Chris Causey.
Yes.
Richard Thibodeau. And was it Pradiger?
Yeah.
Pradiger. And then I wanted to also shout out Eric Pearson, just because Eric's been a member for a little bit now, but he's always encouraging people to join, buy the merch, sign up. So we see your comments, man, Eric, and we really appreciate you helping us out and grinding for us, man. But like we said, bro, we were at the game Friday night, got some clips, and really broke down Bryce Cain's whole performance. And we're going to be doing that every Friday night. This Friday night, because I will be going to the Auburn game, obviously. I'm going to be in Phoenix City, and I'll be mainly focusing on Dylan Upshaw, the 2025 class of 2025 Auburn target. We're trending very high on his list, apparently. And I'll get some Cam Coleman stuff because you never know how that's going to go. But I'm mainly going to be focused on Dylan Upshaw and Spencer Waldrop. Kind of hard to focus on offensive lineman. He's a big offensive lineman as well. But I'll try to get some stuff to him and definitely break down his game a little bit. So be checking out some of those guys there. And, yeah, man, you see it right here. Recruiting update videos. We just dropped that one. If you are a Varsity Squad member, it'll be in there soon. We're probably going to clip up a little bit of that in the middle of the week, the Bryce Cain part, and put it out for everybody just so y'all can kind of see what that looks like and what we're doing over there. And then Xbox gameplay, the watch the film of the Auburn baseball, that's definitely coming. Breaking down Ike Irish, Cooper, all those guys, Tanner Bauman on the mound, all that kind of stuff. You guys been listening to us for a long time. You know Blake. Blake loves his baseball. Blake knows baseball. He can tell you what the pitch is about to be before it happens. So really look forward to getting there and watching that with him. I will be getting in some of these high school recruits, and Blake will as well. Obviously, we'll be doing some watch the film on some of those guys. It's just about working out the technology and getting all that kind of stuff together. We got a good idea. Friday night was our first night on the road. We kind of got a good idea of what to do and then how to upload the videos and stuff like that. So it'll get better as the season goes on, that kind of thing. But and then the JV squad, man, you get those gifts that we're working on getting cut up. Priority reply to comments. You get the shout outs, the members live only chat, all those kind of things, man. You definitely want to get in there and become a part of this up-tempo game, man. Become a part of this family, this community that we're trying to build, bro. Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a community of fans that just like us, man. We like to talk our trash. We like to have a little fun, nothing too serious, but we love our Tigers.
And one thing I want to mention here, Dustin, is I think I'm just going to go ahead and break down and get a Perfect Game membership and to follow high school baseball recruiting because it's so hard to follow it without one of those memberships. And if you are interested in baseball content and what the Auburn Tigers are doing to try to get back to Omaha, Nebraska, I think I'm going to start following that pretty heavily because it's just so hard to do it on Twitter only.
Right.
It's just difficult, man. But look, there's a lot of great things coming to this channel, and we appreciate each and every one of you who have already joined, the ones that will join. And even if you just subscribe, man, go hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. It helps the algorithm. Share the video. When we drop this, share it to a friend. That helps the algorithm. But we appreciate all the love. We still want to make our goal of 1,000 subscribers, and we're only 143 away. I wanted to say 147, but that number has grown since the last time I've looked at it. So I think we're 143 subs away, and we want to make that before Saturday. So tell a friend about us. Get them to hit that subscribe button. We're so close, people, and we are so ready for some Auburn football.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't want to forget our audio people. We look at the numbers, we see it. There are y'all that listen on audio as well. We don't see your comments, obviously. We don't see your likes and all that kind of stuff. Because you're not on YouTube. We don't get to see your name and all that kind of stuff. But I do want to tell you, because that's how I listen to podcasts as well. Because it just takes off data off your phone and all that kind of stuff. And you can obviously do multiple things at the same time while listening to it on Spotify. So if you're one of those people and we don't know who you are, just know that we do know you exist. We see you listening. We see you, subscribing over there, and we love you all the same, man. We really do. Last segment, Blake. The depth chart going to come out this weekend, right? We know they're starting QB. We know Simp's going to start at safety. We know DJ going to start over here at corner. So we don't want to go down. We know who's going to start at running back. Matter of fact, do we know who's going to start? I'm going to tell you right now. This is how this is going to go, okay? Just a prediction. Don't say that I don't have any insight here. Just prediction, okay? Saturday, they're going to announce the starting lineups, and they're going to say, starting at running back out of Mississippi, number 27, Jarquez Hunter, and he's going to start. And then you're never going to hear anything else about it. And that's exactly the way that it should have been handled the entire time. So just my thoughts on that. But any of these spots that are up for grabs, Blake, that you might have a surprise for? Because I have one.
Yeah, it's on the offensive line.
Yep.
How do you keep Too Tall from starting?
I don't think you can.
So what do? Do you slide Gunnar Britton into the guard position?
I think that Cam Stutz and or Tate Johnson are going to have to take a seat, and you're going to move Gunnar Britton to guard because I think Jeremiah Wright is going to be locked in over there at the other guard, and I think Tutal is going to take one of them tackle spots.
It's hard to keep him off the field from everything Hugh Freeze has said, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's one. If a head coach is talking about a kid that much and saying he can't sit the bench, he's got to be on the field, there's just no way that I can see them trotting out there Saturday and him not being in the starting lineup. Hugh saying that he's just doing way too much, and to be on the bench, like he's got to be on the field. And another thing that brings me back to the Fireside Chat, if you haven't watched it, I watched it for the second time last night, Dustin, when I went to bed. So I watched it twice. And because I always like to watch these things again because you kind of miss something in the first time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And you can call me a dork on that. I don't care. But I love Auburn football content. And Gunnar Britton's knowledge of the game, freaky, dude. Like the kid he knows football, right? And he was even talking about the secondary for a minute too, like and just how talented this group I think they can be. And you've got a Dylan Wade, like listening to the things that he worked on in the offseason, and Mike G was telling him, hey, Cole Kubelik thinks you could be a pro prospect. And he was just going through everything that Coach Thornton had told him, hey, man, you need to work on this. All right. And he was doing it, hand placement, head placement, everything like that, man. And I think having a guy like Gunnar Britton and him only having 4 months left, you can move him into that guard position and put Tutal out there at the tackle. So I think that's a spot that's up for grabs. I'm very interested in to see that. But I want to get your thoughts on this D-line, Dustin. Like, where are we going here? And I know you're excited about a guy. You've praised him all offseason, and he's a true freshman. But I've had people from other fan bases, bro, text me. Right? My guy DG from Florida, like he loves the Florida Gators. But there's even talk about a guy that's going to get on the field, Dustin. And how do you keep him out of the starting lineup? And we know who that is.
Yeah. So no surprise to anybody that's been listening to us. We already know. Keldrick going to start. I've been telling y'all. Keldrick's starting. Keldrick will start week 1. He will start versus UMass. He's the most talented player on that defensive line. I'm not saying he's the best right now. Now, he will be by the time the end of the season comes. But the dude's just got it, bro. He's just got it. So really it's going to be – it's about formations, right? But if I had to draw it up right now, I would say if you're going to have 4 guys down there, I would say that Jalen McLeod starts at edge. I would go Jason Jones, Marcus Harris, and then Keldrick over there on the end. That would be where I go with that. And I don't think Jordan Rogers is far off from Jason Jones. And I'm super interested to see what the Kite kid from Maryland and then the kid from Purdue. And like I know I forgot. I never remember their names. I don't. And I'm sorry, but my head is full of 200 football players' names.
Was
high school or professional.
Kite and Mosiah Nasili Kite, and I'm not sure about the other guy.
Yeah, and there's the other guy, but they're both going to play. They're both in the. I expect both of them to be in the 2 deep. But those would be the 4 that I would say are starting. Would be starting there right now. It's interesting to see how they line up, man. And this would be fun, right? So if you have Marcus Harris, Jason Jones, and/or Rogers, Keldrick Falk, what if you go Jason Jones and Rogers in the middle, and then you have Falk and Harris at edge, like an old school, 4-3 type deal, and then where would you have maybe a Larry Nixon or a Cam Riley or a Keontae Scott? It's really going to be interesting to kind of see the personnel groupings. And I'm just so excited to see what the plan is, because we've done so much pontificating and so much trying to guess. And a guy like Ike can go in here and break down all the film in the world and give us the best idea of what it's going to be. But he'll tell you, I'm guessing. He'll tell you that until so I'm excited to see It's a very educated guess, but I'm just saying I'm excited to see where this all goes, what really the game plan is. Who's going to start at linebacker, bro? Who starts at linebacker, Blake?
I think you got to go with Austin Keys and Larry Nixon. I think Eugene Asante makes a move, and I think he gets plenty of run on the field. I know you're high on Woodyard, a guy
I don't think
right
he
here.
starts though, but yeah.
Yeah. But man, like you also got to throw like, where's Cam Riley? You know, I know Jeremy talked about that the other night when we were in his space. Does Cam Riley get on the field on third downs to heat up the passer? You know, like I think we've got options, and that was something that, you know, we were kind of nervous about coming into this year. We we were wondering where that was going to go, and then to lose a guy like Tolan and
Yeah,
you know, just a tragic situation there, and still praying for that kid,
for sure.
and everything that he's been through. Hopefully he can find his way back, brother. And but you've had guys like Eugene step up, and to hear the coaching staff say like, hey, the dude, I mean, he's rocking people. I mean, the report out of scrimmage was he was just exploding plays, blowing them smooth up. So that's exciting. I know a lot of people have had concerns about stopping the run, because you read the scrimmage notes and you hear, hey man, Damari had a 50-yard run, and we're just sitting here going, well, are our running backs that good? Has our offensive line improved that good, or is our defense, you know, is our front seven just, you know, are they not up to par? Like, what's going on? But we're going to find out Saturday, because UMass, that is what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to run the football. They're going to try to keep possession. They're going to try to and just wind this clock down and keep things close, right? And maybe they're in the game in the fourth quarter to make a move and try to win it. Hopefully it's not like that, but you know, I'm excited to see this defense work, man. We know the secondary is locked up. That's why we didn't want to come on here and say, you know, well, it's going to be Simp and Puckett and Nehemiah and Keontae and
yeah, we know all that.
Yeah, DJ James and all that. Like we get it, all right. But this front seven is a mystery, and we're waiting to find out who it's going to be. So I love the Keldrick Faulk hype, bro. I think he is that dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys, listen, we're about to get out of here. Y'all know the deal. Every Tuesday now, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. live on the YouTube. You don't want to miss it. Every Tuesday, get in there, man. Let's get this thing popping. It's here, Blake. Yep. It's here. Tuesday night, we're going to give our official SEC predictions, East and West. We want you guys to get in there and give us y'all's.
Yes.
You know how we do at the Up Tempo podcast. It's really just going to be us hating on every team for one reason or another. It's just what degree of hate are we going to give on them. But come in there Tuesday night. We'll be talking all kinds of shit about other people. And,
bump Georgia, bump Alabama, bro. Get them out.
You already know what it is. Some Ole Miss shots will fly and all that kind of good stuff. The Colt down there in College Station. I'm going to try to have another big-time guest join. Don't want to say anything there until that's confirmed, but we are going to try to make that happen. So 7 o'clock, guys, Tuesday. Y'all know the deal. Like and subscribe, man. Like Blake said, we're trying to get over to 1,000. Blake, do you have anything? I do have one final word I wanted to get in.
I've preached all off season, man. Make this environment Saturday special. And I want to harp on this again for everything that we've been through the past 2 years. Make this environment special. I was at Penn State. All right. I was at that Tiger Walk. It felt electric. All right. It felt like, hey, Auburn's about to go in here and dominate. And that wasn't the case. We got ran off our own field by a Big Ten opponent. All right. In a historical matchup. You know, that was a CBS 2:30 game for America to see. But I want this, even though it's UMass, man, I want this Tiger Walk to be electric. I want the love shown to Cadillac that he deserves for what I've always said is he saved our program last year. That hit home for me, man. I watched that dude growing up as a teenager. All right. I was at the Kentucky game when he exploded and did his thing in 2004, man. And like I was at all of those games when him and Ronnie just were running folks smooth over, bro, and all the electric times we had back then. But now Hugh Freeze comes in, and Hugh everything that we know he did at Ole Miss and the winning ways he brought to that program, we know he can do it here. So make his Tiger Walk special. That's his first one inside the stadium. Sell it out. Don't leave. No matter what the score is, man, stay, watch the team. I know it's going to be hot, but show these kids the love. All these transfers that picked us, show them love, man. When they run out of that tunnel and that smoke's going up in the air and they come through it, brother, it gives me chills just thinking about it. Remember what we can be. All right. Remember the old times that Auburn used to be. And we're only 10 years outside of playing for a national championship. All right. So remember what we used to be and what we can be in the future, especially with this thing expanding to a 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
All right. We can be back in the national picture soon. And it starts Saturday with UMass. And I stand on that, man. I want it to be a special environment for Hugh and the boys.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, Blake. We've been saying all year, man. We're a family. We do this together, and we all got to play our part. We play a big role. I think sometimes we forget how big of a role we play. What I wanted to say was I've seen a lot of videos going around from this weekend. And we were at the game Friday night, and there was a fight that broke out in the stands. Wasn't nothing crazy, but I've seen 3 different videos of kids, high school kids, at football games, laying down on the field with their hands over their head. The fuck are we doing, man? What are we doing? The whole town's supposed to be able to come out to the game on Friday night, watch the game, watch these kids. Majority of these kids are not going to play college ball. They want to win for their town. They want to win for their side of the town. And I've seen 5, 6, 7 clips of shootings and gang fights and parents getting in fights with other parents. What are we doing, man? What is this? Go to the game on Friday night and act right. There's no sense in any of this garbage. There's no sense in it.
Yep.
Go have a good time. Go enjoy football. Me and you were talking about it before we started recording. High school football is the last pure thing when it comes to football.
Yep.
We've all seen the offseason that we just had in college football. There's not a real college football fan out there that's not worried about the future of college football. If you are, you're not paying attention because Mickey Mouse is making all the decisions. You want to get mad at the NCAA, you want to get mad at it's Mickey Mouse, brother. Disney's the ones making those decisions and nobody else. You know why Texas and Oklahoma are in the SEC? Because ESPN wanted them to be. That's the whole point of it. Josh Pate said it a million times. You'll never hear the words fans or players come from these people because they don't care about the fans or the players. They're going about one thing, their pocketbook. And yes, these guys are old men in their 60s. They're going to be dead in 10 years. They don't care, bro. They don't care about you, the game. These kids are nothing. Pro ball is obviously a business. High school's all you got as far as it's just pure. And yes, I know there are kids that are trying to go and get scholarships and this, that, and the other. And there is an element of BS involved in that. I get that. But as a whole, man, you're supposed to go to the game Friday night, have a good time with the community, see the same people that you're going to see next Friday night, the same people that you go shopping for your groceries with the next morning, and it's all supposed to be okay. Like kids laying down on football fields, covering their heads from gunshots, brother. This is too much, man. This is too freaking much. Act right, bro. Act right.
The fact that you have to walk through a metal detector, to get into a high school football game is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like when we walked up to Theodore and Baker, there was people standing at the gate and said, "Are you Theodore or are you Baker?" And I said, "I'm here for Baker." And they said, "Well, we're going to direct you this way. And once you go this way, you cannot come back this way until the game is over." Like, what? Like, I just, and then having to get your ticket out, they scan your ticket and you have to empty your pockets and walk through a metal detector is absolutely insane. And then they have a wand and they wand you. It reminds me of TSA at an airport.
Right.
Well,
Watching football, man. Friday Night
Watching
Lights.
football. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. We got to be better as people, as human beings, man. We have to be better. Like you said, what are we doing? What are we doing? These are 15 to 18-year-old kids, and we're there to watch them compete. To who's going to win the region? The region of
Right.
your area. Who is going to win that? And that's what we want to see. Who's the big highlight star? And how is he going to play? That's what we want to see, man. We don't want to see gang violence and people fighting in the stands.
And Blake, me and you were that age. We played high school sports. It
Yes.
means everything to you in that moment. When you're
Yes.
15, that means everything to you.
Yes. And it's like, look, we walked down to the concession stand at halftime, right? And Bryce Kane's mother was walking through, trying to get something to drink, something to eat, right? And one of the parents stopped her, and like 5 feet from us, and he said, "I just wanted to tell you that Bryce is he's on another level tonight." And just a smile to see that like come across her face, and she was like, "Thank you so much. That means the world to me." All right. And like, that's what you want to see, man. You want to see people like that, like the friendliness and everybody getting along. And you don't want to see the gun violence and everything like that, man. It's just, it's not where we need to be as a country, as a community, anything, man. Like, you need to be able to feel safe to go out on a Friday night and enjoy a high school football game. It's getting ridiculous.
It really is, man. It really is. Well, look, guys, Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central Time. You already know the deal. Making predictions, our SEC predictions, big time guests lined up, hopefully. A lot of things going on. And we just want to talk to you guys, man. Get in there, man. Make this thing special. So we'll see you guys Tuesday night. See you guys Saturday, bro, in Jordan Hare. Cannot wait, man. Until the next one, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. War Damn Eagle.
War Eagle, baby.